Hello and welcome to the Get It Phase 1 update. I'm Sasha Straub and I'll be taking you through the walkthrough today. First, let's go over what Get It is. It's your automated up system which tracks the retail sales associate's time in rotation with a customer and off the floor, with reporting on this data as well as a real-time KPI tracking tool. Get It also introduced a new rotation feature on the Upboard called the Power Up. This gives the managers the ability to mark selected RSAs as a power-up, which puts them directly into the number 2 spot every time they enter rotation. This logic gives your best salespeople slightly more ups, which translates into a higher SPRG. Today's agenda will include a look at the initial promise of Get It, what we delivered and the delta between the promise and the delivered product, an analysis of the effectiveness of the system, a look at the right now items we would like to finish out, and the go-forward menu of options. Our recommendation for the future of Get It, and the reason behind our recommendation. We'll also include a summary of the initial launch of Get It, and as we conclude, we'll wrap up the update and come to an agreement on the go-forward plan. The original promise was detailed in a 94-page proposal. If you would like a copy of the original presentation, please send an email to getpresentation@senditover.com. Again, that's getpresentation@senditover.com. You'll receive an email back with the presentation attached. The original presentation and plan included development of a fully automated upward rotation tracking system, the Power Up rotation logic, KPIs on the phone, iPad, and desktop, alerts on rotation 1, 2, and 3, and above and below goals. It also included automated P2I encouragement and an automatic data feed, so no more hand keying into DSG Online. The timeline promised to have the Upboard, Power Up logic, KPIs, alerts, and automatic data feed up and running in 10 stores by July 1st, 2014. The all-in original budget was $149,350. We've attached the budget in the email that you'll receive with this presentation, but you'll be very excited to know that we came in well under budget. So what you wanted to know here is really about what we actually delivered. We said we would have a fully automated upward rotation tracking system, and that has been running in 3 beta stores since April 2014. We brought on 5 more stores at the beginning of June. We had originally said we wanted this running in 10 stores. However, per conversations between Rick and Arnie, that number shifted to 8 stores. We had all 8 stores live and running prior to the July 1 deadline. As part of the Upboard, we promised the ability to have a special rotation type called the Power Up. We've built in the logic to the Upboard to allow the power-ups to be put back into rotation near the top instead of at the bottom of rotation, which gets them in front of your guests more often and translates them into a higher SPRG. Managers or managers in training can change an RSA's rotation type to or from Power-Up within seconds within the Manager Administration Center. The original proposal asked for a KPI section for the salespeople. This portion was designed to be viewed on a phone, but it works on any device that has internet access. RSAs can log into their individual KPI and track their performance on the 10 KPIs listed. It also shows these metrics for 4 time frames: today, week to date, the past 7 days, and month to date. The RSAs or their managers can set individual goals, and the KPI section will show a comparison between the RSA's actual numbers and the goals that are set for them. We also promised alerts. Alerts are working. The RSAs can choose to receive a text or email or both alerts on rotation status. So if they are 3, 2, or 1 in rotation, they will receive an email or text to let them know where they are in rotation. Alerts can also be set on goals. RSAs or their managers can set goals on their KPIs and then also set an alert to be notified if they drop a set percentage below or rise a set percentage above their goals. They can choose to receive these alerts once daily, once per hour, or not at all. The data feed has been live for all stores since June. The data is feeding directly into the data warehouse, and we have a dual system in place. So the stores are live, but if Get It were to go down or there's a problem with the feed, we can quickly switch to DSG Online data so the stores don't miss a beat until we can resolve the issue. There were several things we didn't expect to happen within Phase 1 that we handled and still managed to come through in and below budget. We handled the production server for Get It through Amazon Web Services. We also established a test server for the development and testing to happen So all new code was tested and vetted before it was dropped on the live server. The tech specs also grew from the original scope. We added functionality and reporting. And lastly, we fired our first developer and we had to rehire and retrain. So here is a visual of the 3 sections of Get It that were delivered. There is the Upboard, which is on the iPad in the stores. There's the salesperson KPI. And then there is the admin section where the managers and MIT can request reports, set and view salesperson goals, cap out, reorder rotation, and more. So the analysis. There's some good news and some better news. It's working. We are getting higher SPRG lift when Power Up is engaged. Rick and Arnie had a discussion, and per Arnie's direction, we turned the Power Up off in the stores on July 14th. However, the functionality is in place, and the starter data is very encouraging. More good news. The benefit of the system is only partial. There is still lots of lift left. Adoption is initial, as we had expected, and the knowledge is light, but it's building. The indoctrination and synergy from other systems is light, but the possibilities going forward are very exciting. Get It gives you a few things. The big money items are the Power Up and the real-time KPIs. Power Up gives your best salespeople more face time with guests than they're currently getting, which will translate into a higher SPRG. The KPIs give the RSAs instant access to their individual metrics, along with coaching tips created by the managers. The nice-to-haves with Get It are the Upboard and all the functionality that comes with it, as well as automated P2I, rotation and goal alerts, and the data feed to the data warehouse, including actual ups by hour versus estimated ups. Again, it's working and it will pay us a strong return. We need to keep in mind that this is brand new. It's going to need time to fully realize the results. Adoption is low. It takes time to go over it and over it and over it. The managers have really embraced it and worked hard to get the RSAs using the Upboard. The KPIs are a big asset, but they need more adoption. Also, the sensitivity of small changes on large, highly variable numbers is difficult. It just needs more time. Since it is so new, there's simply not enough data yet, and the stores are just beginning to use the system. They're not great at it yet. So we do know it's working, and it will pay us a strong return, but exactly how good, we are unsure of right now. So moving past the analysis, we're moving into the right now items. These are the items we'd like to continue moving forward with, all within the current budget. One is to keep the traction going. We'll continue with the support, the calling, emailing, etc. at the store level. We'd like to build a solid proof model to continue to build and analyze the data to understand the efficacy better, and collect the data and build a performance database. We also want to build the enthusiasm and knowledge base to increase adoption. The majority of the salespeople are not using or may not even be aware of the KPIs. We'd also like to bring Patty in to Get It, to really start to indoctrinate this into DSG as a permanent fixture. And lastly, training. We'd like to get the help desk to start to learn, to know that Web Profit Experts is supporting it, but ultimately Get It is going to be turned over to them. We'd also like to redo all the training videos. The current videos are specific to the beta stores and their timelines, and they vary on look and feel. So we'd really like to update the training and reshoot the videos so all of Phase 1 training is the same. So our thoughts on the go forward menu of options include the right now items we just reviewed, and then we'd like to bring on the balance of the DSG stores, the stores only, to the Upboard, automatic data feed, Power Up, and KPI. Then we'll bring on the conversions, so Colt, Goodman, and the other acquisitions after they're converted to Storus. We'll also have a plan at the ready for any future acquisitions needing to be brought on, so it's an efficient and easy process. Once we have Get It solid within DSG, we'll look to add the TDG stores, both the Ashley Home stores and the Dufresne Furniture and Appliances, onto the Get It Upboard, automatic data feed, Power Up, and KPI. We'll also need to clearly define the Phase 2 design and development, including the functional specifications, your reporting needs, data needs, and mockups. Then, Web Profit Experts will create a detailed plan, timeline, budget, and resources needed for Phase 2. So our recommendation again is we've briefly run through this go forward list, and based off this list, our recommendation would be for us to complete the right now items with an emphasis on the solid proof model. And these items again can be completed within the current Phase 1 budget. We also are ready to move forward, so when you are ready, we can begin collecting the list of items and clearly define the Phase 2 development. We want to really get the vision clear from the beginning, as unclear specifications and extra additions can lead to big cost overruns and extending timelines. We'll prepare a plan, timeline, budget, and resources needed for Phase 2 once Phase 2 is defined, so that your leadership can clearly understand all aspects. And then we'll prepare a 1-hour presentation to go over the PTBR and gain either approval or redirection. So again, our recommendations are to finish up the right now items, define Phase 2, create a plan, timeline, budget, and resources needed, and put that into a presentation for your leadership to approve or redirect. The rationale for our recommendation is that we think we should be rock solid on ROI before spending any more than Phase 1. We also want to make any changes needed now at the 8 stores so that we can reduce costs at 50+ stores as we institute Get It in the remaining stores. Get It is no longer in beta, so it would be a more solid rollout for version 2. And having a clearly defined Phase 2 will keep other costs down, as well as having a slower rollout plan and longer development period to give us time for integration with the conversion teams, management, and others. Time will also give us more data, and the more we know about the money-making aspects, the more we can feature orient and prioritize with Phase 2. Lastly, the timeline. Not making it an emergency is appreciated. The adoption is better when we have the time to do it right. As we wrap up the update on Phase 1, let's just acknowledge that we started with a multi-million-dollar idea from Arnie. We started with that great idea and we had good execution. We mapped out a plan, a timeline, a budget, and the resources, and we executed on it well. We're in good shape. We did things right, from the servers to internal documentation to team members. And we believed everything we believed at the start, and even more so. Our initial assumptions have been confirmed, and we believe in it more than ever. We've had good housekeeping along the way. There are more than a dozen action items that are behind the scenes and easy to blow off, and we aren't doing that. Lastly, we have some great options ahead of us. We are well poised to have great expansion plans to execute on, just as our ROI proof models are vetted. In conclusion, this was a fabulous project to work on. On behalf of Rick and myself, we want to thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity. Get It is a big differentiator, and it's something that no one else has. This application is a force multiplier for sales managers, a P2I multiplier, and it's a paradigm shifter from sales per guest to sales per retail guest. We've gone from proxy to actual. It's an abilizer as well. Get It provides hourly real-time data from the Upboard and with the KPIs, which is just not possible without this platform. So if you agree, we'll spend the next 45 days moving forward with our recommendations and preparing a plan, timeline, budget, and resource list for your approval. Once you've had a chance to review this video, take some time to think through it, and any questions or concerns, please bring those to Rick or I. Our contact information is on the screen here, and let us know how you'd like us to proceed. I want to thank you so much for your time today, and thank you again for allowing us to work on such a great project.